Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you a minute and kind of explain. You guys have been reading Breaking the Chains, and we're about halfway through the book. Hope you guys are enjoying it. You guys looked at theorists, and you have, as part of learning about mental health and the history of healthcare and understanding how to take care of patients, we have to understand the progress of the mental health world and the progress of how we take care of patients, how we've taken care of patients. So don't think that just because a patient walks in and they need a blood pressure medicine and that we don't have to be concerned about their mental health, because we do. People will come in and you won't know that they have depression or that they're schizophrenic or that they have other issues necessarily. But we have to think about, or that they've lost someone, or that someone near and dear to them is terminally ill. And so we have to think about the mental health of our patient. It's not just when they walk into the doctor's office to see the doctor, the nurse, the medical assistant, if they're in the pharmacy technician, the pharmacist. It's not just here's your medicine, here, let's put a patch on you and you go on your way. We have to take care of the whole patient. And taking care of the whole patient is taking care of their mind, their body, and their spirit. And sometimes the mental health portion of this is not just their mind, it's also taking care of their spirit. So with as you've been reading the Breaking the Chains, I hope that you have seen not only that Dorothea Dix was a lady way above before her time. She was a very strong-willed woman, which I think is great. But she saw a lot of things that weren't right. And sometimes as healthcare workers, that's another big thing that we have to do is see things that aren't right and try to make it better. And so we have to be that patient advocate. So she was an advocate for quite a few things. She was an advocate for education, but she was an advocate when she figured out what was going on with patients who were considered mentally ill. She felt the need to go and try to make a difference, try to change the way that mental health patients were treated. And they were treated horribly for many, many years after she passed away. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a research assignment once you finish reading the book. And like I said, this isn't a very long book, but it's a pretty good book. You're going to compare and contrast. You're going to compare the treatment of mentally ill patients in the book to the way people were treated after that. So in the 1920s and the 1930s and you're going to talk about the progression in your research paper compared to how she saw patients being treated. What has progressed? What still needs to change? What could all of us as future healthcare workers, or me as a current healthcare worker, what still needs to change? I don't think that when someone says someone is schizophrenic or someone is bipolar, I don't think that we should automatically go, oh, really? If they're being treated, then it should be no different than me saying, hi, my name is Jana, I live in Cooper, Texas. It should just be part of who they are, and that should be acceptable. If they're not being treated, we should, as healthcare workers, work to try to help them get the treatment they needed and make sure that treatment is available. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to kind of compare the treatment that they got and show the progression in your research paper over time, how mental health treatment and patient care has improved. When you look at how many words that are going to be required in this research paper, please don't freak out, because it is 3,000 words. You are required to write 3,000 words. That's about 6 pages. So that seems like a lot, but I mean, we're talking about 100 years of mental health care. So I'm pretty sure 6 pages is not a lot. You have to have the book plus at least 5 sources. I would say you probably need more, but at least 5 sources. Because you may find some really good articles or really good research that has shown, it maybe covers a 20-year span. So you're going to use APA format to do this. Don't freak out about that. I'm going to actually show you how an APA format paper is done. We're going to pull up an APA, just like this is pulled up on the screen for you. I'm going to pull up an APA paper, not necessarily the one that's on Google Docs, but one that will explain what goes where. You're going to cite things within the paper. And your 3,000 words does not count your reference page. The actual essay or research paper itself needs to be 3,000 words. Your reference page will be separate. You're going to reference things in the paper where, like, if you when you reference the author of this book, you're going to put her last name and the year the book was published next to the information. You're going to get quite a few grades for this besides the reading material. You're going to get a grade for doing your research. We're going to make index cards where you pull information out of the book that you want to use in your paper to show how patients were treated at that time. And from your research material, you're going to pull out portions of that. And on the front of that card, you're going to put the information. On the back of that index card, you're going to write the reference. You're going to do your reference on the back. It actually makes the paper run much smoother. You can put them in order, lay them out, and type your paper up when it's ready. Those index cards will count as one test grade. Your research will count as a daily grade. You're going to have a couple more quizzes over this book. You're going to do a first draft. That's going to be a grade. You're going to do a peer review where you're going to trade papers with someone, and they'll have a rubric to look at so that they can give you constructive criticism on your paper. That will count as a grade. You'll go and do a second draft based on that peer review. That'll be a grade. You're going to get another grade because once you do the second draft, then you're going to peer review that. And then you're going to turn in your final draft. Your final draft is due December the 14th. So you're going to have basically 11 class days to complete your reading, get your research done, and get your paper done. Please know that you will have to spend time at home working on this. It is because this paper will count as your 6 or 9 week grade, whichever you have at school, test grade. And it's also going to count as your semester test grade. So be sure that you look at your rubric well and that you understand your rubric. If you don't, let me know. Also know that your paper, because this is such an extensive project and it's such an important part of what we do as healthcare workers, the understanding and taking care of the mental issues of our patients, the mental and emotional well-being. I will give a plagiarism checker site for your paper to your in-class proctor for them to copy and paste your paper into. If it's more than 20% plagiarism, you're not going to get credit for this. You will not get credit for the paper. You will get 2 zeros. So please do the work the way that as we go through that I've asked you to. I want everyone to do well. And if you do this on the timeline that I'm asking you to, you will have it probably done actually a day or 2 before it's due. That gives you time to go back and have someone else look at that final draft, and it gives you some opportunity to really take it to your English teacher, whatever, but it'll give you an opportunity to really understand. And the reason why, we're doing this project not just to understand the changes and the improvements and things that still need to improve in mental health. Also, this is a true research project. That means that a true research project will help you in English classes. It'll help you in college. It'll help you in some history classes, depending on what you take in school. This will help you be able to be successful with papers as you move forward. Research is something that is ongoing and constant, and it's something that you kind of have to do in healthcare every day because things change so often. I can probably tell you in one semester just in a regular college semester when I took English 1301 and 1302, my 1302 semester. That class, I had 8 papers that were due. That same semester, I had a history class that I had 3 research papers due on different time frames. I took a survey of Christianity class because I went to a Methodist university at first. I had 3 papers due in there. I mean, you had to write a lot in college. It's not just an English major that writes. Everyone has to write. So if you know how to do research and put it in a paper and make it smooth, then you're ahead of the game, and it makes college and senior year and all of those things as you move forward, it makes it so much easier. So research is just a really important thing, and it's important. It's a more important skill for you to understand. Please be sure you get your index cards over the weekend because you will need them next week. Um, it gives you a list of that you'll receive a daily grade for quizzes that we do. You'll get a daily grade for participation and working on the research project ×3. So while you're doing your paper, you're going to get grades. You're going to get completion grades. You're going to get grades for your first and second draft. You're going to get grades for your peer review. So it lines out how the grading is going to be. If you have questions or concerns about this, or you're not sure what you're doing as we get to different parts of the paper, please let me know. What you need to be doing right now, besides your reading, is start researching mental treatment of mental health patients past Miss Dick's life, past Dorothea, at the end of Dorothea's life. So be sure that you are beginning your research. You're going to have to work on this outside of class. You just are. If you have questions or concerns, please be sure you let me know, okay? All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.